Hello, Market Watcher. I'm David Ravel, and this is Value Side AM for Monday, August 2nd. Today, the price of a free market. Then the latest economic and corporate news from markets around the world, coming right up. Well, free enterprise is one of the great traditions and core values of the American culture. The ability of virtually everyone to own shares in publicly traded corporations is considered an almost sacred right in this country, and an essential part of that is the stock market that is open, fair, and free. All that comes together in what we call the free marketplace, a place where it is possible for anyone to build wealth and create the lifestyle of their dreams. Now, knowing that background has made the interaction between the world's two largest economies, the United States and China, all the more fascinating. As you no doubt know, it was the United States under then-President Richard Nixon who first approached China in an effort to open up that country to become more integrated into the world's family of nations, and by extension, into the world economy. China was invited to become a member of various international trade, political, and financial organizations. Now, without a doubt, China has excelled in trade and commerce. To say that China is now a vital part of the world's economy is, if anything, an understatement. In fact, today it could be argued that China is the number one trading hub of the world. On the other hand, the Chinese financial markets have not achieved the dominance of their manufacturing and industrial and trade sectors. Here, China has proceeded cautiously, and although they are politically communist, meaning that they do have direct state investment in public companies, they have been late in getting actively involved in the management of the financial markets, a practice that I think is dubious to begin with. But market management is something that here in America, on the other hand, we have been actively engaged in for at least as far back as the 1980s. And the stewardship of Presidents Bush, Clinton, and Reagan, and Chairman of the Federal Reserve Alan Greenspan. It was, after all, Greenspan who proposed to President Reagan in the aftermath of the crash of 1987 that a plunge protection team should be formed, a team that would actively work to control any further market crashes. Today, we see the U.S. Treasury and Federal Reserve actively intervening in the financial markets, with the Fed currently purchasing a mind-numbing $120 billion worth of U.S. Treasury bonds and notes each month. Now, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the Chinese struggle with how to deal with a sector crash of their own. One of the major Chinese technology sectors is the online education sector. It's a long story, but the Chinese authorities decided that this group of companies should essentially provide free education. It's a noble sentiment, but one which sent the stocks into a tailspin. New Orient Education dropped by half. Gaotu Tech Ed dropped by nearly 2/3, and the industry leader in the group, TAL Education, dropped by almost 3/4 in price. The group was devastated, and investors around the world were distraught. So, like the Americans so many years before, the Chinese elected to directly support, quote-unquote, the market by investing $4.5 billion U.S. in stabilizing it. Interesting, isn't it? How two sets of politicians from very different cultures and very different political backgrounds, separated by years, nonetheless chose as their best option to just throw money at the problem. It makes me wonder, is this the price of today's free market? Well, in the hours before markets open in New York, it's green just about everywhere right now, with positive results out of Japan, Hong Kong, and Taiwan, as that controversy over the Chinese tech education stocks subsides. In Europe, positive results so far from London, Paris, and Frankfurt, as markets around the continent watch the positive retail sales in Germany. For 2 months in a row now, the Germans have gone back to the shopping malls, and the result has been retail sales up 6% so far on the year. Here in the U.S., we'll be looking at the latest numbers for construction spending and also Manufacturers Purchasing Managers Index, both to be announced in about an hour. In earnings so far, we've had spectacular results by ON Semiconductor, also positive numbers out of Global Payments. And that's Value Side AM for Monday, August 2nd. I'm David Ravel. Please join me in praying that our country may get back to work.